Greetings, brothers and sisters. Hello and welcome back to Eva's House of Spirit. I'm Eva, for those of you who may not know. And tonight I want to talk about some interesting connections that I have just recently begun making. Something that, you ever have an experience where you don't quite know what's going on? You know, something happens related to the occult or the paranormal or something like that, and then time goes by and you start to kind of put pieces of the puzzle together and you start to kind of understand later what you didn't quite get at first. Well, I kind of had an experience like that. So let's go back to the beginning and I'll tell you how this all began. One night, a long while ago, this is probably over a year ago, I'm not even honestly sure, this might have been over a year ago, I'm not even honestly sure if I had my YouTube channel yet. I had this dream, and an entity came to me appearing as the Virgin Mary, but in all red robes, totally red robes. And the dream, I can't remember every detail of it now. I wrote it down somewhere, but it had something to do with, she kind of was telling me about how to cleanse my house using like a peachy pink colored candle, like a salmon colored candle. And there were other things involved in the dream too. But when I woke up, I started thinking to myself, I wonder if this is a particular aspect of the Virgin Mary, you know, like maybe there's some aspect of her that, you know, reached out to me or something. So I'm going online, I'm looking around and not really finding any images of her particularly in red robes. And I was like, what is up with this? So then I started thinking to myself, maybe this entity was appearing as the Virgin Mary, but maybe it was like a syncretism. Maybe there was a different entity that was just presenting itself as the Virgin Mary in red. Maybe I'm just not getting this. So I remember I even asked in a group, there was like a group I was a part of. And I was asking them, like, do any of you know of any kind of syncretized spirits related to voodoo, or, you know, maybe even Santeria, or like something like that, where the syncretized image put with that power would be the Virgin Mary in red? And I got like a few, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, but the answers they gave me didn't quite, intuitively, they didn't feel like they were the correct answers. I don't know what it was. Like something was like, maybe, but I just wasn't sure. But, I don't know. So I had all these questions, and then some time went by, and I even prayed to this figure, thinking, hey, maybe if I directly reach out and just say, who are you? Maybe I'll get some sort of a dream or a sign. Nothing happened. There was like a big lapse in time, you know, or a big period of time where nothing, I wasn't getting any answers. Then there was a little while where I thought maybe this is actually Mary Magdalene, because there's a lot of images concerning Mary Magdalene where she is presented in red robes. And long ago, before I was ever born, before I was ever conceived, my mother did tell me of a story where she went to a medium because she had an issue going on. There were some spirits that were really, really fucking with my mother badly, I mean horribly. And she went to this lady and people were like, oh, she's a fake, don't go to her. But my mother went to this medium channeled Mary Magdalene, And the spirit of Mary Magdalene told my mother what to do to make the spirits stop harassing her and just making her life a living hell. And my mother did what Mary Magdalene told her through the medium, and everything stopped. So I thought, I don't know, maybe there's like some kind of connection there. I mean, because Mary Magdalene wears red robes, and my mom had an experience going to a medium, and I don't know, maybe there's a thing. And then something else happened later that made me sort of start leaning away from that possibility that it could be Mary Magdalene that appeared to me in the dream. I started kind of having what I would now, in hindsight, consider synchronistic signs that kind of were pointing me in a particular direction, and I wasn't seeing the connection until just recently. I'm not going to say till just now, because this actually happened maybe a few weeks ago. I kind of started to put the dots, connect the dots together. First of all, I was constantly seeing spiders all the time, constantly spiders everywhere, spiders. I didn't know exactly. I thought it was maybe just the totem of spider. I thought, oh, there's just lessons here, you know, whatever. Not saying that that couldn't be part of it, but then another synchronicity happened later. I have a video on my channel. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the exact title is What I'm Currently Reading in Spider Visits Again. And there was a YouTube viewer who posted a comment on that video. And it's funny because I didn't actually look into their comment at any great length or in any kind of depth until just recently, a few weeks ago. And that's when things started to click. Let me read to you the comment, the back and forth. And I think you'll start to kind of get it. And if actually there might be some gaps, but I'm going to explain the gaps. But anyway, here's what that commenter, Orion Pseudo, posted on that video. Orion Pseudo asked me, perchance, have you been tinkering with the Ellis Sigil? From what I've been reading, spider visits are a common side effect. So I answered back, I said, the LS Sigil? Please clarify, thanks. So then Orion Pseudo comes back, and Orion Pseudo says, it's just something interesting I came across at random over Facebook. Basically, it's a way of linking places, objects, spells, intent, etc. into sort of a magical web or intent of sorts. It seems sort of punk urban in its roots, but it all centers around tagging such things with a linking sigil in order to either send energies or to draw energies from the web. The documents I've read describe the origins of the network as coming from an early online group of chaotes that intended to glamour bomb the world by placing the sigil in places that could benefit from a little magic. Public places such as neighborhoods, schools, parks, train stations, and such, where the inhabitants were so drawn down by the mundane that they'd lost all connection with the magical wonder of the world around them, would be tagged with a linking sigil designed to receive energies from the web, while places that already contained a strong energy, such as graveyards, monuments, etc., were tagged with a sigil meant to feed energies back to the web. There's also a variation meant to filter energies in and out, where, for instance, good could be drawn into a place or object from the web, while what is bad could be recycled back for use elsewhere. It can also be used out on the real internet in the same way by tagging articles, memes, infographics, etc. And then Orion Pseudo went on to share some links. And I'm going to have those in the description of this video for all of you if you all want to check out. Did I say y'all? Oh my god, I'm not even Southern. If you all want to go and check out those links and kind of learn a little more about the LS Sigil. You know, I'm no expert on it. I'm just learning about it myself. So finally, a few weeks ago, like I told him, like, oh, thanks, you know, in response. I was like, I'll look into that. But I didn't actually get around to looking at the links that he provided and really looking into this LS Sigil until like a few weeks ago. So apparently, yes. This sigil, it's sort of, from my understanding, it creates connections you know, it is like a web, you know, and it can be used to sort of create a thinning of the veil between worlds in certain locations. But as he said in his comment to me, you know, you can send out energies with it, recycle them back into the web. In my reading, you know, about the LS sigil online, I discovered that the LS sigil, the linking sigil, came to sort of develop, how can I put it? A thought form developed around this. It became a created deity, entity that people would feed every time they would use it. And this entity is known as the Red Queen, or the Ellis, Ellis. Now, after finally looking at this comment, finally looking into the links, like really looking into the links, I started thinking to myself, you know, it's not a far fetch that maybe the entity in my dream was the Ellis. Maybe for some reason, I don't know why, she might have chose to come to me. Could be because I'm a coyote. Could be because I'm just really open. And maybe, I don't know, it could be anything. Maybe someone sent out intention, you know, toward me somehow. Or I don't know, maybe just on the astral plane. I just happened to cross paths with this, you know, empowered entity, you know, this fed entity, this created thought form that is deified, you know, the Ellis, the Red Queen. And it blows my mind because it makes so much sense, you know, taken with the spider visits and just, you know, the fact that I practice chaos, you know, it just, I may not be an Elysian coyote, but I am a coyote. It just kind of makes more sense than my previous theories that, oh, it must be either a manifestation of the Virgin Mary, or it must be a syncretism of some other entity, or it might be Mary Magdalene. Like, those, like, while there were possibilities I was entertaining, they didn't quite feel right. This, I think, very well may be the actual situation. It just makes more sense. It just seems to click. So, yes, do check out the links in the description below regarding the LS sigil. I suggest that for those of you that are really curious, go and Google the LS sigil or the Ellis, actually like capital Ellis, the Ellis, you know, the Red Queen. Maybe if you're typing that in, maybe you can even throw in like the Ellis Chaos Magic or Ellis Chaos Magic and see what comes up, or LS Sigil Ellis and see what comes up for you. You may find some other resources and stuff online. What that sigil looks like, I'm going to draw it for you now. I have my little dry erase board here. I mean, it's not going to be perfect because I'm just kind of jotting it down really quickly, but I just want to show you what it looks like. I haven't actually done any work with this, but from my understanding, I mean, maybe this is something that I'm being drawn to work with for whatever reason, but the sigil looks like this, basically. If you look it up online, I mean, I kind of squished the S a little bit because I was drawing it really quickly, but if you look it up online, you'll see like really cool images. If you go into Google Images and like when you're looking at the LS sigil, you know, Google that, look at them, Google the information as well, check out the links below. It's just something interesting. I mean, I don't know if anyone out there has ever had something like this approach them. I mean, I would think that with something like this, the practitioner would more go to it than it's come to them. You know what I'm saying? It's a little interesting in that regard, but I wanted to come on and just tell you all about this experience where, you know, it started with this dream a long while ago, and, you know, here I am trying to find those puzzle pieces, and finally looks like it's starting to click. So, I hope you all found this video interesting. I hope when you check out those links and do your research, maybe experiment a little bit with the Ellis Sigil, I hope that you find some things that enrich your practice, that enrich your journey. You know, I hope this has kind of opened your mind, and, you know, I hope something positive comes out of this for you. And with that said, I'm going to wish you blessed be and ashe. If you have any thoughts, questions, comments, anything to share or add, any similar experiences or anything like that, I would love to hear them in the comments. Please share those below. And until our next exchange, until next time, bye-bye for now.